Welcome Capricorn, thank you for joining me. It's Barbara James at Spiritual Guidance. I've slightly changed the name to make it easier for you to find me, and I hope that helps. So I hope you're bearing up okay in these changing times with the coronavirus and our lockdown. There's a lot of challenges going on for us. So let's read the cards and see what you've got here. I have shuffled them all very thoroughly as always. Okay, so you've got the Five of Wands and the Nine of Swords at the centre of your spread. So this tells me that there's kind of conflict, competition, maybe small arguments, petty arguments going on around you, and you're finding it quite. Nine of Swords, it's like saying, God, this is a nightmare, you know. You're finding it hard work. So with the Five of Wands, it's reminding us that sometimes it's helpful and beneficial if people are able to be heard and listen to each other about their needs. So it might be calling on you to step back from the situation and observe, don't absorb. It might be a helpful thing for you to do, and maybe you can step back and think, okay, so what is the actual real core of the point of what's being said here? And quite often it's fear. You know, people are sort of sprouting out things and energetic exchanges when at the bottom of it is people maybe don't feel heard, and they're worrying if their needs are going to be met, and so they're afraid of, for some reason, you know, that they're not being heard. So it might be beneficial maybe to step back and maybe speak to people individually. If there's many of you in the house, or if it's just two of you, then, you know, step away from the relationship, or step away from being involved in the conflict, and just listen to maybe what's being said. And even if you don't quite agree with what's being said, look at it from a different angle. And it's so beneficial to, even sometimes in a dispute, to say to someone, okay, I hear that you're saying that. Okay, I hear you. And then even that people feel heard can actually help them to lower the anxiety level, and sort of helps to defuse the situation. And of course, sometimes, I mean, I know Capricorn, you're very much, you know, work-minded, you're ruled by Saturn. So it's very much about tradition, exercising your discipline and having authority and rules and things like that. You respect rules and tradition and that sort of thing. So I imagine in the workplace, if you can run it in a very kind of organised manner, you'll feel quite at home. Whereas maybe if you're actually being shut down at home and surrounded by family, and whether it's a partner or children around that are disruptive, I imagine it does make you feel like this card shows here, with the person with their head in their hands. So but it's amazing how things can be diffused, so try not to feel overwhelmed, I guess, is what I'm thinking here. Okay, so above you, you're wanting to see some improvement and calmness from the heightened emotions. You're looking to how to kind of neutralize the situation. You've got this card upside down, the Two of Swords, but I'll put it the right way up for you to see. So the meaning with it being upside down is, I'm wondering if possibly there's something that you're trying to look at with too much of a logical mind, which is very Capricorn. You know, you're very sort of prefer tried and tested things. You prefer to see logical, factual information. But with this, you might be called to look further within you. You might be asked to sort of look at your listen to your inner voice, and look at things from a different perspective, and that might be more helpful in this situation. So normal kind of traditions and rules might not be so helpful if it's within a situation in the home, maybe where people are feeling frustrated, and even things like boundaries, they're finding it difficult. So maybe you need to loosen off maybe some of the rules a bit within the home, obviously not stepping outside the government guidelines, but finding alternative ways to I don't want to say rule with an iron fist, but, you know, maybe you're using a velvet glove a little bit to kind of negotiate a little bit more. Maybe try that, Capricorn. I'll keep it the right way up for you. See that you really do care about people around you. You've got this King of Cups here. If this isn't you, there's someone very close to you that's affecting your life a lot. So this person's very caring, could be a strong water sign in their chart, or you might have that as a strong moon or rising sign. So typically typically Cancer or Pisces. So someone who's very in tune with their feelings, quite enjoys music, quite sensitive, caring for other people, and naturally a good counsellor. So you can see he's on a little island here on his throne, and there's lots of water lapping around. So he's kind of like a safe harbour for other people to come to talk and share their feelings, and he'll make people feel better. So if this is you, then that's wonderful. If it's not you, it's great that this person's around you. And then you see that you're actually juggling and trying to keep on top of everything. You feel kind of overwhelmed. You're very busy. So you might be trying to carry on with your work at home, maybe with extra people in the house, or it might be that you're juggling your finances as well. But with this card, it's kind of almost like it's sort of like a happy-go-lucky energy normally, but in this current situation I'm seeing it as being more like you're like a swan. So you've got your feet paddling away under the water frantically. You might not be able to take your eye off the ball, but above the water you're like a swan, so very gracefully gliding along, looking super kind of efficient and capable. So you're managing fine, Capricorn, even though inwardly you might not be feeling that way. I can see inwardly you're really not feeling that way. And even more to that sense there, you've got the Four of Cups, and then the Page of Wands. So you're feeling it's almost a depressed feeling. You're quite fed up. You've kind of you're experiencing three lots of emotion. You've got three cups here, and then the fourth cup comes along. You're kind of fed up with it yourself, thinking, I don't need any more of this. I've had enough of this. It could be about a younger person who's feeling quite fired up and energetic and maybe enjoying this free time, especially if it's someone who has got quite creative energy, maybe someone who is pleased not to have these boundaries that are normally of school or the normal traditional workplace. Even it could be a younger person that's at work who's really enjoying this new freedom that we've got for the time being, but you're not enjoying it as much. You're sort of quite fed up with the situation. I would just take some time and maybe step back from the bickering and just observe things in a different way and find a more creative way to harness the energy or cope with the energy of people around you, even if it's disruptive. What you're hoping for is news coming in and change and movement with the Eight of Wands. You're really wanting to see some improvement on the situation. You want things to speed up and there to be news and a new light brought in on the situation. Even if it's news from abroad, you want to hear this. It can be talking about overseas, wanting to hear something on that side. But the major arcana card, so this is the last card in this deck anyway for the reading, is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is all about feeling like we're in the waiting room and everything's been turned on its head and we're looking at things from a different perspective. And they talk about with this card there was a many-faceted god called a Norse god called Odin, and he hung himself from the world tree for 9 nights, and he did this in order to gain a greater wisdom, so find spiritual insight and depth into his reality. And even in yoga, people stand on their heads to activate their brain's nervous centers, and that's to help improve mental awareness. I mean, I try and do each day a sun salutation, and I know in myself when I swoop down and have my head lower down and touch the floor, and when I'm from a standing position and touch the floor with my hands, it's such a great rush of blood goes to my head, and it does feel so refreshing. So I mean, if you can check out some of those exercises, it can be really beneficial, and it's not just in the coronavirus, all year round. If you can do it, it will help you. And so it says it's with this card, the ultimate meaning of this card is rebirth and regeneration. So yeah, I mean, enlightenment. Wow, I mean, if we can come out of this coronavirus lockdown with being enlightened, how amazing, And so we're also being asked to be patient and to cultivate and enjoy the waiting room, because it won't last forever. This too shall pass, as they say. And so we're asked to accept that time is suspended, and the Hanged Man suggests the notion of sacrifice. So something must be given in order to gain something else. So I'm thinking that, we're all sacrificing our freedoms. Financially, we're feeling, especially Capricorn, you like to have your, material abundance because you work so hard. So it's only right you enjoy the rewards of the efforts that you put in. But maybe with those, with the changes here, we're sacrificing the guarantees of financial security or material comforts, but we have in an exchange almost, we've got this time with people around us. We're being given this time, so maybe it's a chance to get to know each other a bit more and really listen to each other in a different way maybe than we have done before, because we've got a bit more time on our hands. Okay, so from the Wicca Oracle cards, you've got these two cards here, which are, this one, the first one is talking about, it's the I'll just get my little notebook here. It's talking about clarity and truth, and it says freshening winds of awareness blowing through your mind, and it's time to cut away what no longer serves you. Open yourself to new ideas, but don't be afraid to take a stand for what you believe is right. So it's like clarity, awareness and focus. So it's a bit like the Ace of Swords, that card, I feel. Yeah, it's like a sword of truth almost. And then next to this one you've got number 12, which is the Maven, and this one's talking about it's time to count your blessings and be aware of how abundant your life truly is. Open your eyes to those who are less fortunate than you and offer what help you can. So it's a bit like that Two of Swords, isn't it? Opening your eyes. So maybe it's going to give you a new reality. Maybe you'll look at things in a different way. Trust that there will be enough for everyone, and you can afford to be generous with your time, energy and resources. I mean, yeah, I mean, if ever there was a time that we can feel like that, especially with our time, you know, you're full, you're fruitful and rich with time, Capricorn, at the moment. So yeah, why not? Enjoy that with the loved ones, because you've got this one which is the Oracle of the Trees, and it's saying how strong you are. I mean, Capricorn is very solid anyway, you're earth, very earthy, and it's saying steadfastness. So I think if anything represented you, Capricorn, it's this card, and it says, I am strong and steady, and I am an essential part of the age-old mysteries of the forest. If you call on me, I can give you outer physical power and inner emotional strength whenever you need them. Let me show you the way. And it says, do you realize how much you have to offer the world? Don't underestimate your abilities or your strength of purpose. Your inner power is waiting to be tapped, but only you can do it. And have faith in yourself. So even if it feels like there's so many disruptions around you, the you know, things have been turned on their head, you're still strong, Capricorn. It might not feel natural for you, but you've still got this. You've got that inner strength, which other people will take comfort from as well. But to help you, remind you of your inner strength, we're looking at your sacral chakra. It's helpful for, I mean, I love doing this for any chakras. I try and do it as much as I can. And it's the colour orange, and it's in your lower abdomen. And this chakra is giving us a sense of abundance, well-being, pleasure and sensuality. So it's all about just feeling good and feeling everything's okay, the world's fine. So it's like your pleasure chakra almost, but it's called the sacral chakra. Okay, so we're going to sit comfortably somewhere where if you feel safe to close your eyes, you can do, and then open up your shoulders and straighten up your spine to open up the lungs, the space for the lungs, and take a lovely deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, and one more up through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Okay, so let's open the sacral chakra. There we are, Capricorn. That's gorgeous. I hope that was helpful for you. It certainly helps me. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I hope you enjoy what I do. If you did, please do click on like and subscribe and share it with anyone that you think would benefit. And you'll find me at Barbara James Spiritual Guidance, and I'm going to try and upload maybe more videos, maybe slightly shorter, so people have time to see them. I know with me, I don't just check out my sun sign, I check out my moon and my rising whenever I'm looking at my readings. So it's beneficial to know what your rising signs are. You can look at that online anytime. If you don't know the exact time you were born, you can look at the, put in midnight, as long as you know the place and the date, put in midnight and you'll get a general feel of what was going on. I know my moon is as strong. I've got my sun is in Cancer, my moon is in Aries, I'm Gemini rising, and it's amazing how Gemini and Aries are just as powerful as my Cancer readings. So it's really worth checking it out. So yeah, and then if you were looking at mine, with them being a bit shorter, you'll have time to go through each of them and see what the messages are for you that day or that week. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I do love doing this. So I'm sending you loads of love and light. Enjoy raising your vibrations. It's the best defense against viruses or anything else that's going around. It keeps us strong. And yeah, love and light to you. Thank you so much. Bye for now.